So I don't know everything there is to know about being a realtor. I don't. I really don't. But I know this. It's never been easier to stand out than it is right now. Right? If you came back, like if you had a time machine, you came back like 15 years ago to Antoine with a full head of hair, and you would tell him you could record on your device, in the thing that's in your pocket right now, a full-length video and upload it for free in a platform for the world to see, I would have told you you're out of your mind. And that's our reality. It's never been easier. Every single one of you right now can actually create an amazing piece of content and upload it for free, right? But the issue that we have is that we are bombarded with content. There's a matter of fact, they're saying that we're getting about 3,000 messages a day. 3,000 messages a day on our phone, on television, on the billboard. I mean, like, it's all over the place. So that's actually what we have to deal with. This is live. This is what's going on live right now. This is it. Like 294 million tweets so far. Now, half of them from the president, I get it, but still, that's a lot. That's still a lot. Like 2.7 billion video views. The one that's amazing is the one in the bottom right-hand corner. 50,000 websites have been hacked already today. Isn't that amazing? So this is our reality, right? It's never been easier to produce content, and yet we have to deal with the fact that we are all bombarded with content on our devices 24/7. So it feels, I don't know about you, but it certainly feels that we're chasing butterfly, doesn't it? Right? The latest tactic, the latest hack. We gotta go in Facebook Messenger, and we gotta be on Snapchat. I have no idea what that is, but we have to try it out. Like all this stuff, it feels like we're like chasing butterflies all over the place. And marketers are telling us we need to have a funnel to generate loyalty with our customers. The funnel is what we need to do. Now, I'm not knocking the funnel. I have a funnel myself. You know, funnel have their places. But here is news flash for you. Did you know that the funnels were invented by people that sell ads? Huh. Isn't that interesting? The funnel was invented by people that sell ads. And they're telling us, hey, you got to put all this stuff in there and just, you know, like give them leads and opportunity and connections, and you'll get conversion. And at the bottom, you have loyal customers. By the way, I don't know if any of you, but I actually included a goldfish as part of all the things that we do just to see if anyone would notice. It's chasing butterflies. It's crazy. It's like, yeah, what is a goldfish, by the way? Is this an app? No, it's not an app. It's just a goof. Here's the thing about loyalty. A recent survey by Accenture actually found out that 87% of us like to shop around, including your customers. Yeah, we like to shop around. Loyalty it's fine, but ultimately we just like to see what else is out there, right? Is there another real estate agent that would actually be better or faster or nicer with me? Like, in order for you to earn loyalty, it's really a tall order. But ultimately, that's what we want. We want to shop around. We don't want to be stuck. I mean, I went to CVS the other day, and it's like, would you like to sign up for a loyalty program? I'm like, dude, I want a pack of gum. Leave me alone, right? So in fact, the research revealed that we're more likely to have a negative reaction to people trying to earn our loyalty. So trying to get their loyalty is not really where it's at. So it leaves us in this state. 2019, soon to be 2020, kind of confused, overwhelmed, and it certainly doesn't work like it used to, right? Are we in this together? Is that the sense with social media and all this stuff? We're kind of like confused and overwhelmed. So here are the questions that keep me up at night for me, and they should actually keep you up. The first question is, how do I stand out with all this noise? 3,000 messages, all these platforms, how do I stand out? That's my first question. The second question is, where do I decide where to start? Should I tweet? Should I be on Facebook? Should I be on Instagram? Should I send emails? What should I do? Should I have a funnel? How many funnels should I have? And the third question is, how do I get more visibilities? But ultimately is what I want is more leads. I don't know anyone in their right minds that actually is thinking that all this activity and chasing butterflies on social media is for fun. Ultimately, what we want to do is we want to grow our business, right? We want more leads, right? So what we do is we learn all the tactics and the hacks, right? The optimal time to post a video is 7:15 in the morning. Really? The ideal length for a video is 47 seconds. Really? All that stuff, we're being taught all this stuff. And I don't think it really matters. I really don't. The problem is we focus, you see the French came out here? We focus too much on tactics and hacks. And we forget about the touch points of the business itself. Each touch point that we have with our customer. We're too much focused on the tactics, and we need to pay attention to the touch points. Remember this, 57% of the decision is made without you. 57%. I mean, look at your own behavior. Last time you bought something for, let's say, $1,000, did you just go and blindly went and bought it, or you did a little bit of research before? You went on Google, right? You Googled it. So the Googling is a verb now, by the way. You Googled it. You did some research. You went on Facebook. You look at reviews. You look at a whole bunch of stuff. The same thing with your customers. 57% of the decision is made without you. My question to you would be, did they educate themselves with your content or with someone else's content? This is what we're going to be talking about today. Okay? The truth, here's the truth. The success of your business is relative to the quality of each touch point. Each touch point in your business, every time you interact with a customer, from the moment you meet them for the first time all the way to the end, the quality of each touch point is going to make a huge difference in your business. 65% of consumers or buyers find a positive experience with a brand to be more influential. 65%. The touch point is more influential for them than great advertising. Isn't that interesting? And here we are chasing butterflies and trying to do all this stuff, all this marketing. That's what they want. So here's what we need to change collectively, all of us, right? What we need to change is we need to choose tactics that makes each touch point inspiring, interesting, and worthy. And this is what we're going to talk about this morning. So what if we shifted our focus? What if we shifted our focus from tactics to touch points and pay attention to every single one of those touch points that we have? So I'm going to share with you 4 principles this morning. 4 principles that will help you grow your business in 2020, because 2019 is pretty much done, right? So I'm going to share with you 4 principles. And the first one is a principle by these 2 gentlemen, the Heath brother, Dan and Chip. They wrote a book called The Power of Moments. And in this book, they did a study on Disney World, right? So people that actually went to Disney World, they surveyed them on top of the hour, every hour, and asked them, how was your experience, right? So that was the study. So here's how it played out. When people arrive in the park, first thing they have to park in a different county, right? Over there. And you park here. Not there, here. We're like, okay, easy, right? They ask people, how was your experience with that? People say, it was a 3. Right, you have to park, and you have to walk, and then you have to get in a shuttle, and then you got to go to a park. Once you're in a park, you have another line of people, and it's like, that was a 3. Okay. And then you walk into the park. And the kids have been waiting for this moment for the last 12 months. And you know it. They've been asking you in a plane, in a car, however you get there. Yeah, they've been bugging you about this. And then they finally get to meet the characters. And that experience was a 9. Like people says, this was awesome. And then the kids are hungry. And you had to buy food. And if you've been to Disney World, you know that food is outrageously expensive. I went to the it was an all-you-can-eat buffet, and it was like $125 for 4. I was like, what? Like we're coming here all day long, right? We can eat. No, that was it, one time. So this was a 2. Like whatever you buy, a pretzel or an ice cream or whatever you buy, it's outrageously expensive. And people were saying, that was a 2. That was a good, but that was like really expensive. So the kids get to go on the ride, and that's a 10. That's a 10. And then you walk out the ride. And I don't know how to do that, but you walk out the ride and you go directly into a store. And then the kids are like, Daddy, can I get the dress? You know, $75 made in China, polyester stuff, and you know you have to buy it, right? Because you're not going to break little Lizzie's heart, right? So that was a 3. And then, at the end of the day, you get to see the fireworks. And the fireworks, that's a 10. Like, Disney World knows how to put on fireworks, right? That was an amazing experience to watch this. So here's the thing. Here's what the study actually showed, which was really interesting. If you tabulate all those results, you actually get 6.5 average. That's the results of the average experience of someone going to Disney World. But when you ask them on the way out, and you say, how was your experience of Disney World? On your way out, as they're walking out, they're saying it's a 9. So what happened between the average and the end results? So here is what this study actually means for you as a realtor. 2 things. First of all, in an experience and someone dealing with you, there'll be ups and downs. You know what I mean, right? They want to put the house for sale, and they're like, hee-hee, you put the sign on the lawn. Woohoo, it's great. And then they have to wait a month and a half, and they don't get an offer, and that's so down. And then they get an offer, woohoo! And then the offer is for half what they're asking for. Ugh. Right, and finally they get a good offer, woohoo! And then the inspector comes and says, you have to change your electric box. Ugh. Right? And then you finally sell the house, woohoo! And then, oh crap, we got to move. Oh. You're going to have the ups and downs in the in the journey of people dealing with you. And what you have to remember from this study is that people will forgive the low points if you capitalize on the high points. You, as a realtor, are positioned better than any other industry. You absolutely have to capitalize and make the high moments amazing. Capitalize on them. So study the journey that you're having with your customers, the ups and downs. Try to identify. They'll forgive you for the downs. You know, and by the way, when the inspector tells you you have to change the electrical box, it's your fault. It is. I just want you to know, as a home seller, it's your fault. It's the realtor's fault. You could think like, well, how is this my? It's your fault. It's it's going to be part of the deal. You know that there's going to be a good moment after, right? And you need to capitalize on that. But what's really important here with this study is you need to finish with fireworks. The reason why Disney actually works, and actually there are people greeting you on your way out, they're saying bye, they're always smiling, hi, thank you for coming, because they know that that is the most important moment in your experience of Disney. And what is that moment for you? The closing. Like, you absolutely have to make your closing awesome and experience, however that is for you. If you're going to go and take them out for a meal, for a lunch, whatever you're going to do, make it a moment that they'll remember, because this is the thing that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. That's this first principle, the power of moments. There'll be ups and downs. They'll forgive you for the bad moments if you finish with an amazing experience. The second point, the second principle is message clarity. Having clarity around your messaging, right? Whether it's a postcard, whether it's on the website, whether it's going to be a flyer, all that messaging, we need to have an amazing amount of clarity. People buy things because the word they read gets them to take action. Let me say that again. People buy things or have a transaction or will hire you because the words they read gets them to take action. Let me make my case. We already know the order that you're going to be reading stuff. From a marketing standpoint, we already know where your eyes are going. You will read this first, and then you'll go to this, and then you'll read the last one at the end. We know that. Like, this is not, it's not a secret. But what we do is we waste an enormous amount of money with all our collaterals on design, because we think that our issue is that our flyer or our postcards or whatever we have, or our website, the best one is the website. Oh, we have to refresh our website. The design is outdated, right? So if it's a design issue, explain that one to me. I'm ready. This is the website owned by one of the richest men in the world. Do you think he has a couple of bucks to improve the design? This is the ugliest website you've ever seen in your life. If you hired my agency to build you a website and I turned around and I'm like, ta-da! You would fire me on the spot. Put me on the boat and send me back to France. You would. It's not a design issue. It really isn't. The best products and services don't win. The one that are communicate the clearest win. It's not a design issue. It's how you communicate what you're trying to do. And we lose a lot of business because we can't communicate clearly. So the common mistakes that we do, generally when we're dealing with messaging, is we don't define the want, what they want out there from you. We don't define it. Or there are too many of them. It's all over the place. It's like, ooh, I can't even look at this, right? So here are the 4 things we want collectively, all of us, all human beings, all of your clients. We want one of those 4 things. The first one is money. Actually, money is 2 things. It's either I want to make money on this investment, on this property, or I want to save money. I don't want to lose money on this deal. But it's a money-related issue. So maybe some of your clients or your clients are in that space. The second one is time. I think time is the most overlooked want that people have. I'm going to get gloomy here with you a little bit, right? And forgive me. There's nobody in their deathbed that wish they have more money. When you're on a deathbed, you wish you had more time. This, we all know. Deep down inside, this is the most valuable asset that we have. It's time. And for you as a realtor, what you do is you save them time. Or they're super busy, they're very wealthy, they're doing very well, they have a lot of money, but what they don't have is time. So time is the second thing they want. The third thing is status, right? I want status. I want something that says I've succeeded. This is the reason why people buy Lexus. It's a Toyota with a Lexus sticker on it. It is. But when you drive a Lexus, you know it's a Lexus, right? It feels different, right? So that's status. Maybe some of your clients or your clients are in that realm. They want status. And the fourth one is desire for meaning. So these are the 4 wants that we want collectively. What we want is in one of those 4 things related to most purchases, if not all purchases. So here's the thing. You need to pick one. You need to decide, you need to do the groundwork, you need to think about your client. What is it that my clients want? Is it money? Is it time? Is it status? I doubt it's a desire for meaning, which is usually around spirituality, religion, or yoga, or, I want more meaning for my life, which is not really usually in a real estate transaction. So your clients are either want money, time, or status. Choose one. The issue, what we just talked about when people are having way too many of them, is they're trying to hit all 3 of them. Don't. simplify your messaging, just pick one. You're either going to help them make money or you're going to help them save time, but pick one. So what's the so here, the second thing, that we need to have is we need to figure out what is the main issue challenge. If you want to make your messaging amazing, you need to know what they want and you need to know what is the issue, the challenge, the problem that they have relating to what you do. So let's talk about that. People have three types of problem. They have an external problem, which is what they're saying, which is what comes out of their mouth. They have an internal problem, which is how it makes them feel. And they have a philosophical problem, which is it shouldn't be like this, or I deserve this. So let me show you here the common mistakes that people do. They're selling their services as the solution. Nobody wants real estate services. Breaking news. We don't. I'm not a realtor. I bought homes. I sold homes. I don't want real estate services. What I want you is to solve my problem, which is not, I don't have a realtor. That's not my problem. There's tons of them. Actually, I believe that in the state of Florida, we could fill the entire Miami Dolphin Stadium with realtors for the state of Florida. So there's a lot of realtors out there. What I'm looking for is not real estate service. It's for you to fix my problem. So here's the postcard that I just got like 2 weeks ago in my mailbox. Starts with the top. Thinking of selling your home? Nope. I'm not. And then navigate the real estate market with a true expert. I was like, as opposed to a fake expert? I don't want to navigate the real estate market. I want to navigate the waters maybe, but I don't want to navigate that. And then the third one, which is the best, is like free comparative market analysis and home evaluation. I'm like, no crap. Free. Of course it's going to be free. What else is going to be? You're going to charge me money? There's nothing in here that actually mentions what I want and how it's going to solve my problem. Can you see it now? So what happens with that postcard? It comes in, boom. It comes in, boom. Every time it goes. And it's the same thing with your messages on social media, on your flyers and everything. It doesn't talk to me at all. Look at me, I'm great. Number one rated realtor. Good for you, buddy. Doesn't mean anything for me. As a buyer and a seller of homes, that you're number one, okay, good for you. I'm happy for you, but it's like it doesn't mean anything for me. You're not telling me how you're going to solve my problem. So that's very ineffective. And I'm sorry for her because I know she's spending quite a bit of money on this, but this is very ineffective. You know, companies sell solutions. So here's what happens is a lot of companies sell solutions to external problem. So people are saying, okay, I have a problem with this, so they're trying to fix that. But here's the reality in terms of messaging. People buy solutions to internal problems. How it feels. That's how we buy things. How it feels. You're resolving. I'm overwhelmed because I have an issue with time. Your solution, how you're going to solve that, is you're going to take overwhelmed out of the way. You're going to provide that. But we justify the purchase for philosophical reasons. I deserve a beautiful home for my family. Do you get the impact? Do you get the difference there? It's like if you're talking to what they want and you address their issue and then you actually are putting your messaging in terms of how are you going to solve that internal problem and how they're going to justify it, that is going to work. So you are the first step in resolving the problem. How you need to position yourself as a real estate agent is you're solving those problems. You're not there to buy homes or sell homes. The thing that I see all the time on real estate websites is there's a search engine to find a home, and I'm like, were you trying to compete with Zillow or Realtor.com here? That's not what I'm coming to a realtor. You need to actually position yourself how you understand me, my problem, and how you're positioning to solve that problem. So it's a messaging problem. It's not a money problem. It's a messaging problem that we have in all our collateral. It's not a design issue. What you need to do is you need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what is it that they want and what is their problem. And you're positioning yourself as the solution to that. Here's how you actually transform that. Like, you deserve the home of your dreams. By the way, if your messaging does not include the word you or your, you need to go back to the drawing board. Your messaging needs to include the word you or your, preferably both, because when it includes you and your, you're talking to me. Does that make sense? Right? Do you see the impact of that? You deserve the home of your dreams. Are you overwhelmed? Yeah, I am. You know, I got to take care of the kids. I got to go to work. I got this and, you know, all this stuff. Yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed with all this. And now I have to sell the house and everything that goes with this and simply don't have time for it all. Yeah, you're talking to me. Now you're talking to me. And you deserve the home of your dreams. You're damn right I do. I work really hard. I do. So now you're talking to me. Does that make sense? All right, cool. So your second principle is clarity is the new creativity. Clarity. Get clarity around your messaging and you will move the needle. The reason why all these postcards and all these collaterals don't work is because they're not clear. So your job for 2020 is to get it clear. Get clarity around your messaging. Okay? All right. The third principle. Is welcome to 2019-2020. Video is king. You absolutely, unequivocally need to master the art of video. And there's going to be one big reason for it. Because if you don't, the millennials, real estate agent that are right behind you, they're going to eat your lunch. Oh yeah. They will. Because they're not afraid of it. They're going to do the videos. They're going to create all the videos. They don't care. They're just going to go. They've been doing it all their lives. And they're going to plaster this stuff on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and you're going to disappear in the noise. They know that. And you absolutely, unequivocally, if you want to succeed in 2020, need to master the art of creating great videos. A recent study by HubSpot looked at all the engagement of content, and they actually saw that videos were creating an 1,800% more engagement than text and pictures combined. Now, let me say that again, just so it just hits you, and let me put it that way. That's 18 times. You get my attention with 5 times. Do you know what I mean? If you tell me you can do this, this will increase your engagement by 5 times. You got my videos is 18 times. That's staggering. That's what we want. That's what we want to consume. Any day of the week, you give me 500 words or video, I will consume the video every single time. And so are you. You've seen all those videos in your Facebook feed, in your Instagram feed. It's all there. The fastest growing demographic on YouTube is guys like me. Bald and white. No. 45 to 65. Fastest growing demographic on YouTube. It's our kids' television. You know what I mean? Who's got teens here in the room? Teenagers. Yeah, you know that. They're on their phone. Like, that's it. That's what they're watching. YouTube. Well, we're coming on to YouTube in huge numbers. Huge. So before we talk about video, I want to talk about one of my pet peeves, which is that, and you've heard that from marketers out there that are saying this, that we have the attention of a goldfish and all we can consume is a 60 to 90 second video. And this is a bunch of baloney. It's not true. It's not true at all. We're not patient. We don't have patience for your crappy video, but that doesn't mean that we have the attention of a goldfish. That is not true. And the sweet spot for YouTube is 10 to 12 minute video. That's the sweet spot. The reality is, if your video is boring, we'll watch 10 seconds. And if it's great, we'll watch 30 minutes. Who has been in the last 30 days, who has watched at least a 10 to 15 minute video in the last 30 days? Raise your hand. Keep it up. Look around. I will say 3/4 of the room. Right? So it's not the 60 to 90 second. Now, the ideal, I'm going to tell you the truth, the ideal length of time for Facebook is 60 seconds. But it's not because that's all the attention that we have. It's because this is how we want to consume the content when we're on Facebook. Right? Which is different than when we're on YouTube. When we're on YouTube, we want to consume long form content. We'll consume 10, 15, 20 minute video. We don't have a problem with that. So that is not true. You're not limited to 60 to 90 seconds. Now I know you guys are in sales. You're here you would actually respect someone trying to put an ad in front of you, and that you would never, ever, ever skip on an ad, right? Right? Tell me I'm right? All right, let's try this a different way. Raise your hand if you systematically, and I mean systematically, click on the skip ad when the video rolls. Look around. Yeah, it's always 95% of the room. So why on God's green earth do you think that shooting a commercial is what we want to consume? Isn't that interesting? Right? You guys don't want to see their video, you guys don't want to see theirs, I don't want to see yours, you don't want to see mine. We don't want to see ads. We don't. At home, we call it, even on the television, on the recorded shows, right? We call it, my wife calls it zip zip, right? She's like, zip zip. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got to zip through the commercial. We're not even willing. I'm on my phone. I'm not watching the television is watching me. And we're not even willing to watch those commercials. It's not commercials. What we want is emotional connection, we want to entertain, and we want to educate. That's what we want to do with videos. Now, emotional connection, that's what we talked about at the top. Entertain, I'm going to show you another video. Educate, this is the spot where all of us here in this room can make a huge difference. Who in the last 30 days have gone on YouTube and looked for how-to videos? Last 30 days, raise your hand. Look around. Almost the entire room. Who has done it in the last 7 days? Still a lot. Who's doing it right now? Please stop. I know where you are. I can see you, you know. There's an excellent book by a gentleman called Marcus Sheridan. He wrote a book, They Ask, You Answer. In his book, he actually said that these are the 5 subjects that move every buying decision. The 5 subjects. There are cost, problems, compare, reviews, and best. So how much does it cost? I do some SEO in my marketing agency. You put any keyword in a search engine and you say, what are the questions? Half the questions are always cost related. How much does it cost to buy a 4-bedroom? How much does it cost to buy a 3-bedroom? How much does it cost for an inspection? How much does it cost to replace your furnace? I don't know what you guys hear. I'm in Florida. We don't have furnaces. But all these questions we want to know. We want to know how much it costs. You need to create content. You need to create video content. It's super easy. It's low-hanging fruits for you. We want to know how much it costs, all that stuff. The second one is, what are the potential problems? What are the potential problems with this area versus this area? We want to know, what are the problems? Your job is to let us know. You know all this. By the way, the realtors, you guys know everything. You know the best parks, the best restaurant, the best schools. You know where the best police station. I mean, you know all of it. You know all this. It's your job to know all this. Create videos, educating us. That's what we want. Compare this part of town versus that part of town. We want to compare. We want to know comparison. I want to see reviews. All of us want to see reviews. And what is the best? What is the best community in this part of town? What is the best realtor in Wisconsin? Yeah, we want to know that. You know, don't wait for someone to create the content. Create the content. I'm going to tell you who the 10 best realtors are, and you'll be number 7. Right? Just create that. We want to know what are the best realtors. These are the subject that moves all buying decisions. All of them. So if you want to know what kind of how-to content, all these topics are excellent for you. 51%, there's a recent survey that was done by the Pew Research Center. 51% of us go to YouTube for figuring how-to content. This is the #1 reason why people go to YouTube. How-to content. As a realtor, the type of content you should create is how-to. 100%. Let me introduce you to this gentleman here called Malcolm Lawson. He's a realtor in Maryland. And he created this channel, which is a YouTube channel around real estate around the state of Maryland. It's a tiny state, but he's saying, you know what, I'm going to be, by the way, he's a millennial. Look at what he's doing. You can go and find him out, like Malcolm Lawson. Go and check it out. Go and check out his channel after the day. Quick question for you. Is this guy super compelling? I don't think so. Is he like super good looking? Nope. Is this, yeah, I mean, it's like, does it look like his setup is like amazing? Do you think like any of you could actually reproduce that fairly easily? I want to see heads going yes, right? Yeah, all of you can do that. Well, here's the deal. He made 50 grand in commission in 2019 as a direct result of his YouTube videos. All he does is how-to videos. This was a how-to video. He just created how-to videos. So what happens is people are actually looking for how-to content. How do you buy a home with cash? How do you buy a home without a mortgage? How do you buy a home with a mortgage? How do you find a mortgage? How do you find a good inspector? How do you find a good realtor? All these questions we're looking for, and every time they're looking for that stuff in Maryland, who comes up? Him. What did he do? He established trust and authority in the domain. Guess what happens? He gets hired. And he got 50 grand. Is that a good deal? Would that be sufficient for you if you had an extra 50 grand in commission? Yeah, I think so. So nobody cares, by the way, about your open house. Sorry. Someone had to tell you at one point, right? I mean, at least us here on this side, we don't care. I don't think you're putting the open house for us. I really don't. I think you're putting it for each other. I got an open house, and you don't. No, we don't care. We really don't. It's more you like bragging. I mean, unless I'm specifically like looking for a house like that week, but it's not. We don't care. Third principle is videos that matters to them. You know, if you got to go on videos in 2020, you have to go on videos. Which, by the way, the three pushback that I get on videos is I don't have the time, I don't know how, and the third one, which is my favorite, is I don't like the way I look and the way I sound on video. Right? Raise your hand timidly if that's you. Come on, be honest. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing. By the way, it's universal. I don't know anyone. I personally think I should look and sound like George Clooney. I do. And when I look at the video, I'm like, whoa, that's more like Uncle Fester, man. But the reality is like we're all the same. We absolutely hate the way we look and sound. There's not a lot of people, and the cure for it is after you do 10 videos, you care less. After you do 20 and 30 and 40 and 50, I've created over 350 videos. I know what I look and sound like, and I still wished it was like George Clooney, but I don't care, right? So that is, I firmly believe that this is the biggest thing that gets in your way from creating videos, is because you hate the way you look and sound, which, by the way, the millennials don't have that problem because they've been doing videos ever since they were born. So they're like, they don't care. Right? But you do, because you remember the days when it was not done like that. So please deal with that. Just accept the fact that you're not going to like the way you look and sound, and it's just fine. We know what you look like. You're in front of us. And you're beautiful the way you are. Just nothing wrong with you. Right? But just overcome that and deal with this. All right. Fourth principle. The fourth principle is what I call the huge power of small, which is really, now we're talking really in the fine touch points of the business. Now by 2020, the customer experience will overtake price and product as the key brand differentiator. By 2020, which is a couple of months from now, the customer experience was going to be the most important. We went to the industrial age, manufacturing age, service age was the 90s, early 2000. We're in the customer experience age. You are in the customer experience business. that happens to be a real estate agent. But you are in the customer experience business. Your job is to make sure that the customer experience and every single touch point is unique. Now, who remembers buying their first iPhone? When you had an iPhone, you remember that? And when you got the iPhone, I don't know if you noticed that, but when you got the iPhone, you open up the box and the box resisted a little bit, right? You had to pull on it and it did something like, right? And then it opened up. Did you know that that actually was by design? This was not by accident. Apple actually tested hundreds of boxes to get you an experience of a box that felt different. And by the way, that experience was so exciting that you got the box, you got the phone, you closed the box and you put it on the shelf. And it's still on the shelf to this day. Am I right? Yeah, that box, it was like, oh my God, it's magical. Yeah, this was by design. And every single phone manufacturer now has copied that box. If you buy a Samsung, Nokia, is Nokia still around? But you know, it's the same thing. They've done the exact same box because it's about the customer experience. It's about giving you a tactile and a sensory experience. It's creating a wow factor. So what if we actually looked at every single touch point and what we do with our customers and created an experience like that? I get it. You don't have the budget and the resources of Apple. I get it. Like, you know, they tested hundreds of boxes. They have more money than everybody, right? But if you can look at what you can do in your business, a little touch point like that make a difference. Let me show you a couple of experiences. That's the huge power of small, by the way, that box. That's the huge power of small. It's a very small detail. It's just for one-time use, but it'll make a huge impact. The truth is, improving the customer experience is the best way to grow your business. It really is. 73% of buyers point to the customer experience as an important factor in buying decision. 73%. That's really important. And 83% more likely to buy when someone recommends based on the experience in the business. You want to do great, you want to do word of mouth, which I think all of you, create a customer experience. Create like an experience with every single touch point that is like, And so when I talk to real estate agent, by the way, around customer experience, most of the time, and I'm not saying you, out there, most people don't have a strategy around it. So hopefully this presentation will have you look at it and change it and say, let's do something, what can we do? What we need to change is make the small details worth as much visibility as the big things. It's the details. It's the box. When you open up the box and it just has that little resistance, that's the little detail. That's what makes a difference. It's not the big thing. It's not the big splashy website that you're going to have. That's not really meaningful, but those small little details. So what we need to change is we need to choose tactics that makes each touch point relevant and worthy. So your customer experience, by the way, is all over the place here. You know, it's in the marketing. It starts in the marketing, having actually a message that talks to them. That's the power of small, is actually having clarity of your message that you're talking to them. In the sales process, how your business card, how they look, how they feel, how you hand it to them, how you meet with them, all that sales process, right? It's actually in the service you provide when you come to their house and all the things that you're going to do with them. And it's also in the support, right? In the customer support. Like a lot of time people think that customer experience is actually customer support. It's not. The customer experience is all over the place, right? So let me show you a couple of examples here. This is a typical contract that we used to have. This was our contract, right? Which was blah, 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 blah. Look how great we are. We're number one at this and we're the best thing and look at us and we're so great and we're great. Did I say we were great? We're great. And the price is $2,575. And we changed it to this. We start from the top and we give the price immediately. What is the most annoying thing when you get a contract? And what is the first thing you're looking for? The price. And why on God's green earth do we put that on the last page? I don't know. But that's the huge power of small. So $2,500, this is what you're paying. And here is things one with benefit one. Doing this increased our conversion by 37%. By the way, the first one was a 10-page contract. The second one was a 2-page contract. We removed all the crap that was talking about us. Nobody cares. It was all about them, right? 37% increase. By the way, one of the things that we discovered, this is a true study, the number on the left, 40% of people say is more than the number on the right. 40% of people said the number on the left is more than the one on the right. It's the same number. You know who has numbers like this, like on the left? Bankers. You're not a banker. You're in a real estate business. You're in a customer experience business. Change your numbers like that. Remove all the decimals and all those commas and all this stuff. Make your number look more appealing. 90% of consumers rate an immediate response. 90% of people say an immediate response is important or very important when they have a customer service question. 90% of them. How fast are you getting back with them? Here's a survey that actually was done on the customer satisfaction rating. Live chat came as #1 most liked way of people being able to get in touch with people. 73% like live chat. Who was annoyed actually recently when someone called them when they could have texted you? Raise your hand. I know you there. Yeah. Yeah, don't call people. That's not how we want to be connected with. You're actually interrupting my day. We want live chat, and I want it when I want it. Does that make sense? Live chat, email, 61%. At the end, 44% for phone. We actually would prefer not being called. So the question that would have for all of you is, what is your live chat strategy for 2020? To being available now. I have a question. Can you actually be available within 30 seconds of someone having a question for you? All that technology is available. And you have managed services, by the way, that do that for you. So you don't have to do it. If you want to have a life and say, look, I don't want to work 24/7, there are managed services. Here's a great example of a company that used a huge power or small. This is how they set up their appointments. 9:55 or 10:25. It's like odd numbers. What they're using is they're using that odd number that has people go like, that's odd. Like, did you mean like 10:30? No, we meant 10:25. By the way, that town reduced speeding in their town by 90%. Yeah, people are like, whoa, 17 and a half. They must mean it. Right? If I'm like 18 miles an hour, I know I'm going to get nailed, right? So it's like, that's the thing. So that's what this is, the numbers. That's what it is. It's an odd number that has people. So huge power, small. It's like, oh, yeah, I'll meet you at 10:20. You mean like 10:30? No, 10:20. Okay. By the way, so it's this. So it's 9:55 to 10:25. On time or free? It's a tree cutting service. 9:55 or 10:25. On time or free? Here's the thing that the owner actually said. We even get people standing at the end of the driveway watching their watches, not believing we'll be so punctual. They're never late. Never, ever. That is their entire marketing strategy. They'll be there on time or it's free. They teach their drivers to actually, if you're there early, like if you're there 15 minutes early, just park around the corner and just wait until 3 minutes before 9:55 and then start to pull. And people are like, again. They're like, on video, look. What's their marketing budget, by the way? 0. That's their marketing. On time or free. Respect time. This is the thing that we talked about. What is one of the most valuable assets that we have? Time. I cannot tell you, in 2012, my wife and I bought a home, and it was like during the crash. You remember, like it was awful, especially in Florida, and we saw a lot of real estate agents. It was amazing the number of real estate agents that would not be on time and arrived unprepared. But time was like, really? Seriously? And it was just not much. It was like sometimes 5-10 minutes, but it's just those little things. 82% of buyers say that a slow response is the biggest source of dissatisfaction. 82%, a slow response. Don't be slow. Like, look at it from your customer experience. Make sure you're fast. Make sure you get to them super fast as you can. And then ask yourself those questions. Is this how an inspired realtor would handle this? Is this how you would do it, right? And what if each touch point of your company created a wow moment? Every single time you interact with them. Now it just, you have to do them one at a time. For that company, the tree cutting service, that's their wow. It says, will be on time or free. I don't know, it doesn't have to be dozens of things for you. It can be one thing, but just make that amazing. So what would that do to your bottom line? Yeah, that would have a huge impact. That would have a huge impact. And you would stop chasing butterflies. So the 5 benefits of the customer experience of the huge, power, small is you will increase customer loyalty. A funnel does not increase customer loyalty. Actually, having a great customer experience does. Increase customer satisfaction. You will get word of mouth. You will get word of mouth. Less spending on marketing and increased profitability. Who's in for that? Yeah, I want more of that. So here are the areas, right? This is all the stuff you need to look at. You need to look at the customer's journey. Right, and then look at all the things, all the touch point. They land on your website. Is there a form? Yeah, how does it look like? How's the experience of filling out the form? When I submit the form and I get a confirmation, how is that? Is just this thank you for your submission, or is it something more fun? Right, you got to look at all that. How do you answer the phone? Right? How do you send an email? How's your email signature? All these little areas, you have to look at all these because every single one of them is a touch point. Here's us working with a nonprofit organization here. This is how we do it. So what happens? The first thing, how do they find you? Well, they find us on Facebook or Instagram or on their website. Okay, great. So that's one experience. Let's look at that. Then what? Well, they may call. They may set an appointment. Okay, got it. So what do? Right? Do they fill out a form? Do they talk to you? How is that entire process? We look at all this and we're putting Post-its on the wall. And then your job as a realtor is just to look at this board and say, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to make this one special. Just do one at a time. You cannot transform your entire company, but you can transform one thing and make it great. So the 4th principle is touch points over tactics. Pay attention to every single one of the touch points of the customer. Okay? To conclude this presentation, I want to tell you a story. It's actually a real estate story, and it took place in 1892. And this young lady, her name is Julia Tuttle. Came to Miami in 1892, and she bought 640 acres of land just north of the Miami River, right there. 640 acres. 640 acres, you guys should know that, but it's a square mile, or it's over 400 football fields side by side, right? It's a lot of land, right? So basically what you're looking at right now, except that it didn't look like that. It looked like that in 1892. There was nothing. Alligators, swamps, and mosquitoes. That's basically, you had an abundance of that. And our biggest problem was this guy, Henry Flagler, had brought the train track down all the way down to West Palm Beach and stopped right there, 60 miles north of Miami. Right? Basically, without a train in Miami, you were screwed. There was no way you could develop anything. So she reached out to him and she said, I will give you half my land if you bring the train track all the way down to Miami. And Henry Flagler said, no. Nope. Didn't care. You guys got swamp, alligators, and mosquitoes. I don't care. So basically, she was royally screwed. Until fate stepped in. And you guys know this, but for us in Florida, that's not right. Something's messed up here. There's an event called the Great Freeze that took place in 1894. And the Great Freeze wiped out the entire citrus industry in Florida. It wiped out every single, which means that was the #1 industry in Florida at the time. Henry Flagler was heavily invested in the citrus industry. Fortunes were lost because of that event. Like a lot of money, a lot of people lost a lot of money. And Julia did something absolutely brilliant. She sent Henry Flagler a basket of oranges because it freezes everywhere in Florida except in Miami. Yeah. She sent him a basket of oranges with a note, hashtag, how do you like me now? She probably didn't. I made that up, right? But this is brilliant. So what's that story for us, right? Well, it's what's in it for them. We need to stop creating content that has not them in the picture. right? It's about them. It's about the peak moments, the ups and downs in the journey of the customers with you. It's about having clarity in your message, right? Having the message, the basket of oranges. Can you be any more clear, right? What's in it for them? And the small things. That's how you create an amazing experience, and this is how you're going to grow your business in 2020. And if you do that, then you're going to stop chasing butterflies. And instead, you're going to build a butterfly garden, and they're going to come to you, and you're going to stop chasing them. It was an honor to speak with you this morning. Thank you very much.